Everyone talks about zero trust, but is it really happening?
Zero trust has become the gold standard in cybersecurity. It's the framework that everyone is striving to implement, and every security tool claims to enforce it in one way or the other. But here's the thing, can we really say we've achieved zero trust if security teams don't have a comprehensive, complete, and interconnected view of their cyber environment? Right now, what we see is zero trust is being applied, but what I believe it's been applied in silos. Each tool might enforce zero trust in its own way, in its own space, like monitoring network traffic, verifying endpoints, or managing access control, etc. But the issue arises when these tools work independently. Um, it's not a composite zero trust posture that is being provided to you. Just because a security solution enforces strict policies and guidelines in its area of concentration, it doesn't automatically mean that implicit trust is eliminated across the entire organization. Um, but if you look closely, you'll notice that organizations are still enforcing these stricter controls on individual layers, but they might not be addressing the bigger picture. And we'll talk a little bit more about the bigger picture in this episode. When the entire security stack is fragmented, the critical connections between these tools aren't always made. The lack of cohesion means that while each tool might be doing its job impeccably well, right, but it's doing it in isolation. The organization as a whole might still be vulnerable. Um, Security teams are often left piecemealing things together, hopping different between different dashboards and alerts, trying to make sense of it all, trying to connect all these dots. Uh, there isn't a standard as such to connect these dots, so every MXDR provider or MDR provider has their own ways and means of making sense of these different silos together. So while each tool may adhere to the principle of zero trust within its own scope, um, uh, the lack of a converged, unified approach means that zero trust hasn't really been achieved holistically. Again, as always, these are my opinions, and we would love to hear your feedback or your comments in the comment section below. So again, we can have a conversation. Um, but going back to the point, right? In a sense, today it's like building a wall with bricks that don't really fit together. Each brick might be strong, but without the proper connections, gaps remain, and security vulnerabilities can slip through. Um, to really achieve zero trust, we need to make sure the whole security stack is unified. So there are no gaps between these layers and no space for implicit trust to sneak in.
The complexity of contemporary security stacks.
Most organizations don't rely on a single security platform. They are used even the MXDR providers or managed, detection and response, be it extended or not, right? They themselves use multiple tools, often from different vendors. Uh, a typical security stack includes up to 12 or at least 12 to 13 core technologies like SIEM, SOAR, endpoint security, cloud security, and then you have your compliance management, you have your application security to be concerned about, and more. And that's where the challenge begins. End of the day, the solution does not lie at just about picking the right technology. So let's look at this. Security teams also have to identify the right tools within each technology category, manage separate implementation and support processes, deal with time, investment, and effort required to integrate them and manage them and operate them and make sense of them together. Even after all of this, we all know that gaps still exist. Tools don't always communicate properly, alerts come from different sources, but they aren't always correlated. Security team is constantly switching between dashboards, trying to piece, like I said earlier, piece together the bigger picture. But is that a smooth picture that is being put together that gives you a full sense of the art behind it, right, or in front of you? So even if every tool enforces zero trust in its own way and in a very well organized way, the lack of true unification will make the overall security posture meaningless and vulnerable.
Can convergence fix this problem? Or is it just another buzzword?
A lot of security tools today claim they integrate with others, but integration isn't the same as convergence. I've always said it should be converged, not integrated. And there is a difference. With integration, tools can share some data limited to the interface they provide, or if they ever provide access to their own data structure, which is highly impossible to do so. They will give you some sort of an API framework to connect with. But at the end of the day, they will still operate separately. There will have to be a level of standardization and normalization between all of these different silos, where security teams will still deal with not just these different data types, data sources, but multiple dashboards, alerts, and policy controls. Convergence, on the other hand, is different. It means security tools aren't just linked together but they function as one unified system. Policies, detections, and response actions are correlated across all layers. Instead of dealing with multiple tools and silos stacked up, security teams get a single source of truth, a single data lake. That makes sense. And with a wrapper that gives you the capability to actually provide a single zero trust score across the converged data lake. There is no trust in my mind, and I've been saying this for the past 12 to 15 years, and there is no trust without convergence. Zero trust stands for trust but verify, as we all know, the famous saying. But honestly, if you ask me, there is no reliable source for trust without convergence. Period. Done.
What does a truly converged security solution look like, and how does it change the game?
Cybersecurity today feels much like a puzzle being assembled with missing pieces. There are specialized tools for logs, for threat detection, for endpoint protection, compliance, etc., but they all work in silos. You end up spending time, effort, and resource just trying to make them talk to each other. Even then, gaps remain. A truly converged solution, though, isn't just about integrating tools. It's about having a cohesive defense where every element works together. When we conceived the idea of Argus, we envisioned cybersecurity as a battlefield. You don't win wars with individual warriors fighting in isolations. Even Achilles needed an army with different strengths working together towards victory. That's essentially the thinking behind Argus, our flagship product. It's not just another security platform, it's a legion of cybersecurity warriors, each playing a critical role in defending against threats. Now, with Argus, we have multiple capabilities under the hood, but we wanted to keep it simple. We wanted to keep make people identify with problem statements, problem areas that are aligned to these different capabilities. We're not just saying that, okay, we have an endpoint detection response tool, we have a SIEM, we have a SOAR. No, we have the capability to provide a functionality that can automate, that can do event monitoring for a particular purpose, for an identifiable use case. So, at the core, like I said, it's a legion of cybersecurity warriors, each playing a critical role in defending against threats. So what we've done is so that it's easy enough to identify these functions or capabilities. We've identified them with cyber warrior. Cyber warrior number one, which is at the core, is called Logatron. Logatron. And there's a story to these warriors if you put it in context of cybersecurity today, right? Logatron is essentially as an intelligence officer, pulling in logs from every system, analyzing patterns and spotting anomalies before they escalate. But what good is intelligence without action? So that's where Vanisher steps in. Vanisher uses AI-driven behavior analytics to expose hidden attackers moving laterally across your network. And of course, threats don't just lurk. They actively look at weaknesses. So then we have Vulnerable, which runs attack simulation and scanning for vulnerabilities across across the data lake before adversaries can exploit them. And then comes Cloudian. With today's hybrid environments, protecting the cloud is just as critical. Cloudian ensures that your cloud platform, be it AWS, Azure, GCP, all remain secure, trying everything back to SIEM and EDR for full visibility. But security isn't just about defense, it's also about understanding threats in real time. See, the aspect is about protection and prevention. Now, the first goal is to protect, so you don't have to prevent, right? So you have a solid defense mechanism. But then, if for any reason there is a breach to that defense mechanism, for a simple reason, we know people that have usernames and passwords on a sticky note somewhere, and or social engineering or whatever that might be, that their credentials do get breached. Then it's all about understanding threats in real time and being able to prevent them. So that's where Seamtunnel processes and visualizes security data, while Compliant, COMPLYON, ensures organizations stay audit ready with automated compliance tracking in real time. On the front lines, ND, that's my favorite name, is ND, in short for endpoint. Protects endpoints, deploying deception tactics to trap intruders, right? As well as AI MERS, the AI powerhouse that we built within Argus, predicting threats before they even emerge. Every team needs a builder, and that's a modular, allowing for deep customizations and integrations. Meanwhile, Fission or Fission, as you would like to pronounce it, we are still in early days of our cyber army, but we hope it'll go a long way. So Fission fights phishing attempts in real time, right? So before even an email hits a mailbox, we have the ability to isolate it if it's a phishing attempt or it's being injected with malware of any sort and XYZ. So then comes Sorion. Sorion comes from SOAR. It automates responses in seconds, and RAN Shield stands guard against ransomware-related threats. So then, even when an attack happens, we have Redeemator, right? It shows, so this is the full universe of prevention, right? Redeemator ensures rapid recovery, restoring systems and reinforcing defenses. It's a full cycle, right? So protection, prevention, and then redemption, right? That's a good name for a movie. If not, I'll probably use them for track names for my next musical track. But this is, whatever I just went through, the reason why we did this again is so that everyone can identify with a specific function that Argus has the ability to perform in those three core areas, which is protection, prevention, and redemption, right? So this isn't just a stack of security tools. It's a fully equipped, battle-ready force that works together, eliminating blind spots and closing gaps before they turn into breaches. That's the power of convergence.
What steps should organizations take after realizing the gaps in their zero trust implementation?
All right, for this one, once organizations recognize the limitations of their fragmented zero trust approach, it's time to take actionable steps to strengthen their security posture. And there's a refined framework that we put forth with a focus on 3 C's. C as in Charlie. The 3 C's here stand for consolidate, correlate, and customize. So start by unifying. So consolidate would essentially, as the name suggests, would start by unifying your security tools. Ensure that critical components like C, media, and IAM are not just integrated but function together as part of a cohesive system. This consolidation removes silos and creates a unified security infrastructure, giving you a more powerful and reliable view of your overall security posture. And correlate, the second C. Don't just integrate or converge. There's no reason, you can converge as much as you want or integrate as much as you want, but until you correlate your data and security actions, it means nothing, right? So that's the other thing, where you've got to ensure policies, detections, and responses are aligned across every layer of security. This allows your teams to operate on a single source of truth in real time, a single data lake, right? That you can make sense of in a standard normalized fashion. Reducing the time spent switching between dashboards, it makes it easier to identify and respond to threats, and also truly cost and financially and operationally optimize your cybersecurity posture. Then comes customize. Tailor your zero trust model to your organization's shoe size. That is obviously your specific needs and threat landscape. Look for a converged solution that can provide a single reliable trust score across the entire security infrastructure. Not driven by reports from your managed service provider that are coming from these multiple silos and making some sort of a common graph with multiple lines that shows you, okay, here's your consolidated posture. But by leveraging AI, you can also enhance and fine-tune your security posture to address emerging threats and vulnerabilities. So essentially, by focusing on these three C's, consolidate, correlate, and customize, organizations can move beyond fragmented zero trust approaches and create a truly unified security environment. With a single reliable trust core, your security stack will be able to make more informed decisions and react faster to prevent breaches.